Have you ever sat with someone, surrounded by conversation, yet felt a profound sense of solitude? You can hear their words, you can see their smile, but their inner world, their true essence, remains a distant, uncharted territory. We are often taught to look for the loud signs of danger in a person, the flash of anger, the overt deception, the trail of broken promises. We scan the horizon for storms, but the ancient wisdom of nature teaches us a more profound truth. The most significant changes, the deepest currents, are often silent. A tree doesn't announce its decay, its leaves simply lose their vibrancy. A river doesn't shout before it changes course. The erosion happens grain by grain, silently, beneath the surface. The most dangerous sign in a person is not a presence, but an absence. It is the sign of a closed soul, an inner landscape to which no one is ever truly granted entry. This is not about introversion or a need for quiet time. That is healthy, that is natural. This is about a fundamental wall built around the spirit, a fortress so complete that authentic connection becomes impossible. It is the avoidance of the symbolic home visit into one's own heart. Today, we will not be looking for storms. We will be learning to feel the subtle shifts in the wind. We will explore the 7 profound manifestations of a soul that has closed its doors. This journey is not for judgment, but for discernment, for understanding, and ultimately for protecting your own inner peace and for cultivating the courage to keep your own doors open. If this exploration of deeper human connection resonates with you, if you feel the call to move beyond the superficial, then I warmly invite you to join this community of seekers. Subscribe and perhaps activate the notification bell. It's a small act that signifies your commitment to walking this path with us together. Let's create a space for real insight. Now, let's begin this journey. Type ISECLERY in the comments below. Let this be your personal affirmation, a quiet declaration that you are ready to look beyond the surface and perceive the truth with compassion and wisdom. The first sign is the echoing compliment. This is a subtle but deeply telling pattern. Picture this: you share something you're proud of, a project you poured your heart into, or a personal breakthrough. The person with a closed spirit will often compliment the result, but never the journey. They'll say, "That's an impressive achievement," or "You have a beautiful home." The words are positive, but they land without warmth. They are echoing the external value of what you've done or what you have. What's missing? They rarely, if ever, say, "I see how much courage that must have taken," or "The passion you have for this is truly inspiring." They compliment the flower, but never acknowledge the soil, the water, or the sunlight that gave it life. This is because they live in a world of surfaces. To see the depth in you would require them to access the depth in themselves, a place they have long since locked away. It's like admiring a beautiful boat from the shore, remarking on its paint and its sails, but having no curiosity or capacity to understand the vast, the deep ocean it sails upon. A compliment from them is an echo in an empty hall. It sounds like the right thing, but it carries no real vibration of connection. The second manifestation is the borrowed light. You're having a deep conversation, exploring ideas about life, meaning, or purpose. You ask them a direct question: "What do you believe?" And instead of an answer from their own heart, from their own experience, you receive a perfectly curated quote. They'll say, "Well, as the ancient Stoics taught," or, "In the words of this famous spiritual teacher." It's not that quoting wisdom is wrong. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. The pattern to observe here is the chronic inability to speak from their own sovereign self. They use the words of others as a shield. Their identity is a mosaic of borrowed insights, a collection of philosophies they wear like armor. Ask them how they feel, and they might describe a psychological model. Ask them for their truth, and they will hand you someone else's book. The natural world shows us that every tree, no matter how close it grows to another, must draw water through its own roots. A being that is only reflecting the light of others has no light of its own. Their inner sun has been clouded over. Their reliance on external validation is not a sign of being well, Read. It is a sign of a spirit that does not yet trust its own ground. It's safer to stand behind the wisdom of another than to stand, vulnerable and authentic, in one's own. Third, we find the measured misfortune. This one is deceptive because it masquerades as vulnerability. The person will share stories of their hardship, their struggles, their pain. But if you listen with a quiet heart, you will notice something peculiar. Every story has a neat, tidy bow on it. Every narrative is perfectly sculpted, positioning them as the wise victim, the resilient stoic, the misunderstood hero. There is no mess. There are no loose ends. They will tell you about how they were wronged, but they will omit the part they played in the dynamic. They will speak of their sadness, but in a way that sounds more like a dramatic monologue than a raw, unfiltered expression of grief. True vulnerability is not a performance. It is the courageous act of showing your unfinished, unpolished, and sometimes contradictory self. It is admitting, I was hurt and I also acted out of fear, or I am lost and I don't have the answer. The measured misfortune is a story told to garner sympathy, not to build connection. A river that flows naturally carves a chaotic, beautiful path. It meanders, it floods, it changes. The person with a closed soul presents you with a canal. Straight, predictable, and man-made. It's a waterway, but it lacks the wild, life-giving energy of a true river. The fourth sign is what we can call the transactional kindness. On the surface, this person can seem incredibly generous. They help you, they give you gifts, they do you favors. Yet, you are often left with a strange, unsettling feeling not of gratitude, but of indebtedness. Their acts of kindness come with invisible strings attached. They might help you move, but for the next 6 months, every conversation will have a subtle reference to how much their back hurt that day. They might offer you emotional support, but later use your vulnerabilities as leverage or as a way to prove their superiority. Ancient wisdom across all cultures points to the idea that true giving is an act of release, not of investment. The sun does not demand that the earth pay for its light. A fruit tree does not charge the traveler for the apple it offers. This behavior stems from a deep inner poverty, a belief that connection must be earned, that affection is a currency to be traded. Their spirit operates on a ledger of debts and credits because they have forgotten the simple, unconditional abundance of the heart. So when you receive their kindness, you don't feel expanded and free. You feel subtly trapped, caught in an unwritten contract you never agreed to sign. Fifth, and this gets to the very heart of the matter, is the unvisited home. This is both a powerful metaphor and often a literal truth. Think about the people in your life. You have been to their offices, you have met them at restaurants, you have walked with them in parks. They are charming, engaging, wonderful company in public, neutral spaces. But have you ever been invited into their home, their actual, physical sanctuary? Again, this is not about a messy house or a preference for meeting out. This is a consistent, years-long pattern of keeping you at the threshold, of never allowing you into their personal space. Our home is an extension of our soul. It's where our masks come off, where we are unguarded, where the uncurated reality of our life is on display. To deny someone entry into your home, repeatedly and without exception, is to deny them entry into your authentic self. They are showing you, in the clearest possible terms, that there is a line you cannot cross. They will visit your inner world. They will sit on your couch and enjoy your hospitality, but the drawbridge to their own castle is always up. Their life is departmentalized. You are allowed access to the polished guest room of their personality, but you will never be allowed into the messy, creative, and sacred chaos of the main house. The sixth quiet current is the stillness that is not peace. We often mistake a lack of emotional expression for inner peace or self-control. But there are two kinds of stillness. There is the stillness of a deep, clear lake teeming with life beneath the surface. And there is the stillness of a frozen pond where all life has been suspended. A person with a closed off spirit often exhibits the latter. You share a piece of wonderful news, your face alight with joy, and they respond with a placid, "Oh, that's great." There is no shared spark, no reflection of your light in their eyes. You share something that is causing you deep pain, and they offer a logical, detached solution, completely bypassing the emotional field of your suffering. Their calm is not the result of having processed their emotions. It is the result of having disconnected from them entirely. It's an emotional desert. They are so defended against feeling their own pain or their own turbulent emotions that they have inadvertently blocked their ability to feel and resonate with yours. Being with them is like speaking to a beautiful marble statue. It may be perfect and unblemished, but it offers no warmth, no resonance, no life. True peace is vibrant. It feels your joy and your pain without being consumed by it. This stillness is simply absence. Finally, the seventh and most complex sign is the obsession with purity. This individual often presents themselves as having incredibly high standards, as a champion of integrity and truth. But this manifests as a harsh, unforgiving judgment of the perceived impurities in others. They are the first to point out the hypocrisy in a spiritual leader, the flaws in a political movement, the personal failings of a creative artist. They are constantly disappointed by the humanity of others. On the surface, it looks like a noble quest for perfection, but what it truly is a desperate and painful projection. Within their own closed-off inner world, there is a deep fear of their own flaws, their own shadows, their own imperfections. They cannot bear to look at the messy, contradictory parts of themselves. So, they become hyper-vigilant to the mess in the outside world. By loudly condemning the speck of dust in their neighbor's eye, they can momentarily distract themselves from the plank in their own. A healthy, integrated spirit understands that the world is not pure. A forest is not just made of towering, perfect trees. It is made of fallen leaves, decaying logs, and teeming bacteria. That is what gives it its richness, its life. This obsession with purity in others is a sign of a soul at war with its own nature, unable to embrace the beautiful, sacred imperfection of what it means to be human. Seeing these signs is not a call to action against another. It is not an invitation to label or to discard people. It is a quiet call to awareness. It's a way for your soul to say, tread carefully here. Do not try to kick down a locked door. Do not offer your most precious gifts where they cannot be received. The ultimate wisdom here is to turn the light of this awareness back upon yourself. Where in your life have you built walls instead of boundaries? Where have you offered an echoing compliment because you were afraid to truly see and connect with another? Where do you hide behind borrowed light? Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward building an inner home with doors and windows that can open, allowing the light to come in and to shine out. This path is not about finding flawless people. It is about becoming a person who can connect authentically, love bravely, and see reality with clear, compassionate eyes. It is about cultivating an inner world so rich and so welcoming that its warmth can be felt by all who draw near. And if you have found this journey of insight valuable, and you are committed to building your own inner home with open doors and a courageous heart, then let your subscription to this channel be a testament to that commitment. Join us. It's a way of saying, I choose the path of genuine connection, of deeper awareness, and of continual growth. We are grateful to walk alongside you.